All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats because we are investigating a stock that just made a huge move. Our job? To break down all the clues hidden right there in the data. So here's the number that kicks off our entire investigation. Plus 13.74%. That's a nearly 14% jump in a single day for Transocean, ticker symbol RIG. You know, a move that big? It's gonna turn some heads. But what does a number like that really mean? Is this just a flash in the pan, some one-day wonder that's gonna disappear tomorrow? Or is this the start of something much bigger, a real opportunity? Well, to find out, we have to follow the clues. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna tear into this analyst's report piece by piece, just like a case file, and see what story the numbers are really trying to tell us. Okay, so every good investigation starts at, the scene of the crime. And for us, that's this really dramatic price jump that happened back on October 24th. This is ground zero. Now check this out. It's not just that the price went up. It's how it went up. Look at the trading volume. We're talking 132 million shares. That's more than double the recent average. This wasn't a quiet little move. This was a stampede, a massive spike in interest, and that, right there, is a huge clue. All right, so let's recap the facts of the case so far. We've got a huge price jump. We've got insane trading volume. And the stock hit a new 52-week high. This wasn't some quiet little drift upwards, folks. This was a loud, clear statement. This is the mystery we need to solve. So our next step, we need to follow the trail. See, our first job as detectives is always to look for context. Was this just a totally random event, a freak occurrence? Or is this big surge part of a much larger pattern that's been developing? To find that pattern, analysts have this go-to tool. It's called the Simple Moving Average, or SMA for short. Just think of it like this. It smooths out all the crazy up and down noise of the daily price changes so you can see the real underlying direction the stock is heading. And boom, here is our first major piece of evidence about that trend. Today's price is $3.89, but look at the average price over the last 5 days. Only $3.43. That is a significant gap. And in the world of stock analysis, that is a classic bullish signal. It's really our first piece of hard evidence that this big move we saw wasn't just random luck. Nope, there's some real strength behind it. And you know what? The plot thickens because the evidence just keeps getting stronger. The price isn't just above that short-term 5-day average, it's also cruising above the 50-day and the 200-day averages. When you see that, it really strengthens the case that we're looking at a solid bullish trend, not just for today, but across the board. Okay, so we've established a positive trend. We know which way the wind is blowing. But the next big question is, how strong is that wind? How much real power, how much force is actually behind this move? And that's a super critical question, right? Is this buying pressure strong and sustainable, or is the whole thing about to run out of steam? To figure that out, we have to turn to our next set of clues, what we call momentum indicators. Okay, see this number, 61.80? That's the RSI, or Relative Strength Index. The easiest way to think about it is like a speedometer for the stock's price on a scale from 0 to 100. It tells us how fast things are moving. So a reading of 61.80, that's another really solid bullish clue. It tells us there's strong buying momentum pushing the stock up. But here's the key part. It's not yet in what we call overbought territory. That's usually above 70. So that could mean it still has some room to run before it runs out of gas. And there's more. Our next clue comes from another momentum tool called the MACD. Now, don't worry about the long name. All you need to know is that it's showing a positive value, and that confirms what we've been seeing. The upward momentum is solid. It's happening right now. You can see how the pieces of this puzzle are really starting to fit together. All right, let's step back and look at all the evidence we've gathered. We have a massive price jump on huge volume. We have a clear bullish trend across short, medium, and long-term views. And we've got strong momentum confirmed by multiple indicators. So, what's the final verdict from the analyst? Okay, so based on all these clues, the analyst lays out 3 possible ways this could go. And you can see the bullish case, the one where the stock keeps on climbing, gets the highest probability, a full 50%. It's pretty clear which way the evidence is pointing. So what does that actually mean? Well, a bullish win means breaking through that ceiling up there at 406. A neutral outcome means it kind of just trades sideways for a bit. And the bearish scenario, that means it falls back down to test that floor at 360. These are the make or break levels everyone's going to be watching. But wait, a good detective always looks at all the evidence, especially the parts that don't quite fit. And the analyst throws in a really important note of caution here. Even though the big picture looks great, some of the smaller, finer print indicators are hinting that the momentum might be slowing down, and the overall trend quality is rated as low. So what's the bottom line here? The story is definitely positive, but this case is not closed. Not by a long shot. All the clues point towards cautious optimism. Yeah, the big move was real, but anyone paying attention is going to be looking for more proof, more confirmation that this trend has the legs to keep going. And that's where we're going to leave our investigation for today. Look, this whole analysis, it's a powerful framework, but it's really just a snapshot in time, just one day. The real lesson here isn't about this one particular stock. It's about learning what clues to look for, the volume, the trend, the momentum, so that you can follow along as the story continues to unfold tomorrow. So, based on all this, what would you be watching for?